Welcome back after lunch, folks. I hope that was good. We have a few lightning talks lined up. We know the rules. People get 5 minutes, 3 slides, no more. Even if they're in mid-sentence, they will get removed. Up first is Helmut, talking about sudo.
No, I'm actually not talking about sudo. I just needed a catchy title. I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I'm trying to make it easier to eventually do this to some developer systems. So, so how to not be rude. I figured that's something I'm interested in, and I try to do that more often. If you build packages, you can now do that without requiring root. sbuild has a mode called unshare. It only works with tarball-based change roots. You deposit them in .cache sbuild, and then configure this mode either via sbuild rc or option, and then you can just do unprivileged builds if you like. I happen to not know whether this works with pbuilder somehow. Eventually it will. So if you want to run auto package test, you can use the QEMU backend, and QEMU can run unprivileged. If you want to use KVM, add yourself to the group. That's a bit of a privilege. And for creating the image, there also is an unprivileged way now. POPods, with lots of help of LSD, we managed to make it kind of work in a preview kind of way, but you have to use the Git version. So we can do POPods unprivileged eventually. If you're just into having some change root to experiment things, maybe try this. You can also use like stable or whatever instead of unstable there. Then for containers, Podman probably is unprivileged. And if you want the real VM, I happen to have written this debvm thing. You can unprivileged create images from Debian and then boot them. So much for me. Any questions? It is a big slide. No questions. That's great. Next one.
Actually, can we just use your laptop for the next speaker?
Me? Yes. I give you this. I'm here because I'm beginning a PhD research study. My name is Edlira Nano. My nickname is Eda. Here's my website. The research is being done with the University of Lyon first, in a research team that is called Limite Numérique, Digital Limits. Some of you maybe know me because I was in Marseille, where I'm based, in the MiniDebConf in 2019. So I'm a computer scientist. I used to C program for research software, but now I'm doing a PhD research. I'm also a free software advocate at La Quadrature du Net and also at April. These are national French organizations about digital rights and free software advocacy. I'm also a Debian user. My first Debian system was my first personal system in 2000. It was before Woody. I just can't remember what it was. And also I help people install Debian in my local Linux user group. And so I began my PhD thesis in 2023 in January. What is it about? So I'm studying digital obsolescence from an environmental impact point of view. So the idea here is to understand technical issues that make obsolescence in both hardware and software, but especially in software. For this, I decided on a study object, which will be smartphones. Why? Because these are very obsolete objects, throwable objects almost. And I want also to detangle industry-related marketing incentive factors that make obsolescence from purely technical factors. And also smartphones help for that. My second object study is Debian, Debian OS, because it's an alternative system. And the idea is to see how the community deals with maintenance and durability issues, which are factors that fight or go against obsolescence. And last slide. So how am I going to do this? I will be around for at least 1 year in several MiniDebConf and online. What I'm interested in is how the community deals with traditional devices, PC style, old style. How do you maintain, support a wide range of architectures, and also how work is done in the LTS team. How smartphones and embedded devices challenge the community. For example, the problems of kernel fragmentation, one image per device, and things like this. We talked about it this morning. And how proprietary code, firmware, driver, impact maintenance work. And also, I will be around making interviews, and every time I will ask you, how would you imagine an ideal OS development situation? Like in an ideal future, or I don't know. So I'm eager to discuss all of this, and I will talk to people around. Just don't hesitate to come and talk to me. I will ask for some interviews. It can be here in real, in other MiniDebConfs, or it can be online. And in return, I want to have the community back. So please do not hesitate to tell me how can I do it, and how can we discuss together, and if the topic is interesting to the community, whatever. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Any comments? Stunned silence.
Okay.
Okay, who's up next?
Do you want me just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just leave it there, thanks. Okay, Carl's? the Debian and Polar expedition.
Handheld is fine. Thanks. Thanks very much. Hello, good afternoon. This one is not very technical, but it has some nice photos. I just want to explain some experience that I had a few years ago in the Arctic and the Antarctica, and how Debian was useful at some points on the social contract and the FSG, that when I was reading this recently, I thought like, oh, that was useful because of that. So just to remind ourselves how not to get in touch in some cases. So top left, that's me. If you bump each other in salsa, you will see this avatar. The first expedition, 2016-17, it was around the Antarctica, 3 months, and then 1 month more going north. It was in this ship. It was a Russian ship. It's an icebreaker. About 60 scientists there, scientists, guests, and support people like me, and crew was about 60 people. It was like living in Russia for months. And then 2 years ago, just now, we left Murmansk, same ship, same setup, and we went up to this peninsula, Franz Josef. These are the islands here, and then back. That was very short, about 6 weeks. And yeah, that's me. I was on the ship doing something. And I've been using Debian since Debian Potato. That was 2000. I don't know who was asking before. September, after some exams. And yeah, I've moved house 3 times, or no, many times, countless sometimes, and Debian has been moving with me, so it like feels like home. So a few things on this. Debian social contract and the FSG has a few points like this. Probably we know this. The desert island test in this FAQ, well, you think like this never happens. Then, well, it happens to me. I couldn't get in touch with the outside in an easy way. Like any license that would request me to do anything out of the boat, it was very hard or impossible to do. If it was online, there is communication, but you need to know what you need and be very easy to do. Like I can explain later, I mean, not here, but just communication is very hard on polar science. And the Russian ships in 2019, they were under sanctions, so some equipment couldn't be serviced, some software couldn't be used, and that was partially when I'm reading this, no discrimination of fields of endeavor, our priorities are users for any operation, so there were some things that couldn't be done because it was dual use between military and science, and anything can be used for military use at the end, like any sensor that they were saying, well, we cannot calibrate this because it could be used for military things, and a knife even, or anything. So Debian and these points were very helpful, that all the software in Debian could be used, and I didn't need to do anything strange or read more licenses than this. And just 2 quick examples. This is a ferry box. It was a very important sensor while gathering data from the sea for the scientists.
I had to implement some things. It was just to show data and make backups in real time. In 2019, I opened that, I accessed that. This was a Debian 5. So it's done in the UK. They couldn't service anymore for problems that I mentioned. And this is still Debian 5. I know that it's not supported. Debian 5, I think, is 2013. 2009 or 2013. But luckily, I had access to archive Debian.org, and I could download some packages that were helping me to do this. So things like archive Debian.org that, what I was going to say, 1 minute. Archive Debian.org that you think like why we need software there that it's 15 years old or 10 years old. Sometimes you're in some situation that you need this. And last thing, 60, 50,000 packages in Debian. Sometimes we think there's too many. That's not useful. It's chaos. Maybe there are things to improve. But when you are there and you can use any Python package, I had Debian mirrors, obviously. When I could use any Python package, any software, and maybe the popularity contest is at the bottom, but maybe it really helps someone just to use some software that you're doing, and you think like, well, this should be in Debian, it's hardly used. Well, maybe someone was in the first image. Someone was, I don't know, sailing here, some other scientist, some expedition, and you just saved their life, and popularity contest still 0 because there's no internet. And you don't know. But yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for listening.
Any questions, any comments? Cool. Thank you very much. Right. Does anybody else want to do a lightning talk today? We still have spaces tomorrow, so feel free to talk to front desk or me about that if you want to fit yourself in. Otherwise, we start again at 2 o'clock with Vivek, wherever he is. He's hiding at the back. Cool.